Pastor. But what I'm asking is what the offering go to, or what the offering do.
I
As the tithes go to the minister, then I asking now what it offering do. Is it go to, as Saint Melissa said, any development of the church whatsoever, or that offering does go to the minister as the tithes? That's what I'm asking.
So
I
based on,
go
sorry,
ahead.
huh? Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay. So based on the understanding now, after reading back and I'm not sure what's his name. I'm seeing Gene Orton, someone in that family. He was explaining. Based on what is being said now, I realize that the offering it goes to God just like the tithes. So don't look under you look beyond the person when you are even when you're paying tithes and so on. Look beyond the person or the minister who is there and tell yourself that this is a sacrifice that you are giving to God. So um offering is being paid to the minister or to the pastor in charge. Um, so you're as he was saying, that it depends on what that individual or that I let me not use the organization or what that minister or the committees. I don't know how it's been dealt with. I don't know that aspect of it, for example. I don't know the ministers deal with those things, but um then they can now decide, do I use this for my own personal gain or do I use it towards, because at the end of the day, it belongs to the minister, both the offering and the tithes, and we as members cannot tell them what to do with it because it's an offering to God. You cannot, when you give something to God, you cannot tell him how we should use it and so on and so forth.
Absolutely correct, because the Lord says, remember what he said you robbed him of? Tithes and offerings. When it's paid into the church, you're giving your offering unto the Lord. But when you go back and you read in through Leviticus, it tells us where the sons of Levi, God gave them commandment to take the tithes and the offerings. It is given to the minister. Now, some of us seem to have a trouble or a problem with paying tithes because, as you indicated, they're looking on the flesh. It's God's way of providing, because remember, in the beginning, when the children of Israel went out to possess the land, the Levites had no part in that.
Inheritance.
They had no inheritance in that. What they received was the tithe and offerings from the Lord. That's what was given to them. If you study the 7 keys, you will find that. So the minister, in seeking to help the church, sometimes he stands in need. And it's God's way of helping him. He doesn't need it, have need of it. He uses it in the church. The church always has need of something. There are utilities. Sometimes there are other saints that stand in. The minister isn't playing selfish. Most people are wondering, what is the minister doing with the tithes? He's doing with it what God lays upon his heart to do with it for the benefit of the church and of the people. That's what it's for. So we should let God have his way. He always will. Nobody's going to get away with anything. Nobody. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. I don't worry about who's doing what with the tithes and offerings. I want to do what God has commanded me to do, to give it, and to give it willingly and freely. And when I do that, God blesses me. The minister pays tithes too. Don't forget that. I don't know how many people know that. The minister pays tithes and offerings. It's not that one of my leaders put it to me this way, because sometimes some ministers didn't want to pay tithes. And he said, if you receive tithes, you pay tithes. So all of us are
Yeah,
under to God to pay tithes and offerings into the church.